Things fall apart, the center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. These words of the great poet William Butler Yeats in his poem The Second Coming probably reflect the kind of society in which we live. If you ask me whether these words apply to the Indian context completely, then I would say a qualified yes. Qualified because Indian society is a different kind of society. We live in the millennial society. India is a country that is progressing by leaps and bounds, but we have a lot of problems, and the youth of this country inherit these problems from us. Problems of all kinds, problems of unemployment, problems of illiteracy, of poverty, of corruption. You name it, these problems are there. The point for us is, how do we solve these problems? How do we move forward to a society that is humane and enlightened? That is the crisis today.
Almighty, create thoughts and actions in the minds of the people of our nation, so they may live united, may they live united. Oh Almighty, this is my prayer. Oh Almighty, help them choose the right path. Bless all the people of our nation.
When I was a student, I had the occasion to travel by train to New Delhi. But then communicating that I had reached New Delhi was a very difficult thing, because the best way to do that was to drop a postcard into the post box so that your family members would get to know maybe after a week that you had reached New Delhi. Telephones were difficult to access. You did not find them very easily, and even if you did, you had to book a trunk call or a person-to-person call, which was even more costlier, and then wait for a long time till you actually made the connection. Today, this seems to be old hat. This seems to be a very old story, because the scenario has completely changed today. How did this transformation come about is a question that we need to ask. Our young people, our students, are familiar with the history and technology of other countries of the world. They know that Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, but they need to know that there was a digital revolution that happened right here in India, and which is happening even to this day. They must know the kind of vision that a person called Sam Pritroda brought into being, using indigenous technology, using the expertise of Indian engineers to bring about a complete transformation in the way in which we connect to one another. That is the inheritance which propels the whole notion of a digital India today. And this indeed is a tremendous source for our young people to grow, to build a new future upon. The only thing is that we need to be aware of this history, and we need to harness this great technology that connects us all together today.
I was born and raised in a small little tribal village in India. My parents had 4th grade education. But they had a dream to send their children to college. They work very hard to make sure that we get good education. We in return, made sure that we study well. We help fulfill their dream and our own dream. I went to school in Baroda, got a master's in physics, and then came to US in 1964, got a degree in electrical engineering, set up a business here, and constantly focus on work, family, duty, responsibility, honesty, and building something for myself, my family, and my community. Then I had an opportunity to work with then Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi on telecom and IT. In mid-80s, when I started my work with Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, who gave me the political will to really work in telecom, to transform telecom. In those days, we really had 2 million phones. It used to take 10 years to get a telephone connection. With indigenous development, young talent, and I'll talk about that separately, the benefits of being young and talented people at CDOT, Center for Development of Telematics. We could then plant right seeds for right development in the country. So today, instead of 2 million phones, we have 1.2 billion phones. India is a country of connected billion. In addition, we generate 160, 170 billion dollar worth of software services export every year, year after year. This took about 25 years, but it also needed a lot of young talent. Nothing happens in a short period of time. It takes a decade to make a difference. There are no quick fixes. And I want young to know that you got to invest in your future. If you're trying to get something done quickly, believe me, in the long run, it'll backfire. It won't work. So have patience. I have learned that. And I hope you all realize that the first step is to build yourself. Have a big dream and focus on education, job, and character. To me, that is the most important thing. I want to take this opportunity to also talk about 3 things quickly. I want to share with you the experience I had at CDOT and what it meant to younger generation and the talent. I want to also spend a little bit of time on education and then employment and job creation.